Good morning. I'm so happy that I'm here with my friends and my family. I'm glad that I'm doing this first among my friends. I come to you this morning. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a teacher. I stand here as a sharer. I have humanness. I have a human mess. But God is working, and I'm here to share with you, hoping that what I'm sharing with you will give you strength, and as you go away, you know that God is working. He's alive and well. God has been impressing on me that if I share and tell truth, that the truth shall set us free, and I will be free indeed. And so I'm impressing that on all of you, that whatever we have or whatever we've been through, that the truth shall set us free, and we'll be free indeed, because we all have stuff. Let's pray. Breath of heaven, we long for you. Come fill our hearts with peace. Come fill our hearts with truth, that we can lay this at your feet, and we know in full confidence whatever has been a human mess in our lives, that you see far beyond that into our lives, and that you're willing to pick us up from your feet and to use that to share with others. Amen. I'm going to define some baggage this morning. Baggage is personal belongings packed in suitcases for traveling, past experiences or long-held ideas regarding as human burdens or impediments. Not everyone carries the same size bag. Not everyone has the same amount. Kinds of baggage. We have the handbag, we have the backpack. We pack into our lives things that are a nuisance, but manageable. The bag is mobile. Instead of dropping it, we build our life around it, carrying it into relationships, work, and church. A carry-on. We have special seasons of life, special events stored inside. It comes out when it may be inconvenient. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but I have. Or unforeseen. Things in life that have never been brought to a closure. A suitcase person. Things we pack for a long getaway from reality. Oh, I love these trips. Hoping to not bring them back. Pack up feelings and emotions and leave to get away from it all. A trunk person. I did leave my trunk at home because it was too heavy. Things of life that we've locked and put into the attic. Significant events in life that bring to memory again the things that were locked away and kept hidden, maybe too painful or shameful. We are promised that the truth shall set us free. We will be free indeed. These are a few of my truths. You will see I have pieces of luggage here. This one's ragged. It's in need of repair. I can relate. Okay, I'll unpack some. I have a wedding dress that did not last. Oh wait, I had two wedding dresses that did not last. That's part of my baggage. That's the old baggage. In my first marriage, we were a pastoral family and loved ministering to people. Shortly after we moved back to Maine from theology school, my father-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. Life got painful and complex at that time. We found it so difficult trying to maneuver through the process of his death. We were in so much pain that it was so hard to minister And we didn't know at that time how much we needed therapy. That wasn't the thing at that time. We found it so difficult when moving through his death. Right after his death, we were faced with almost losing our 16-year-old daughter, for the second time, to an intestinal surgery, and all of her small intestine was removed. Shortly after, my husband lost his job. Wow. At this point, we were emotionally depleted. We did not know how to get each other and the whole family through it. We had 2 children. They were both teenagers. And then we had my 80-year-old grandmother living with us. We had moved back into my husband's childhood home, which I did not realize how damaging that was for him at the time. We all started shutting down at this time. 2 years later, we were divorced. We did not know how to get the help. The whole family was running on empty, and I can't even begin to tell you what this did to our teenage children. At this point, I truly felt that I was walking around with scarlet letters on my chest. Our divorce was so public with him being a pastor. People do not know how to deal with a pastoral family dissolving, and that was very painful for us. So I had divorce as my scarlet letter. I had failure. I felt I had failed as a wife, as a mother. Oh, shame. I cannot begin to tell you the different pieces of shame that I packed away deep inside while I was still trying to smile on the outside. Burden. I felt I had become a burden to my family and others. Abandoned. My husband decided to leave us, all of us. That was painful. He needed to get away from it all. Ineffective. Oh man, was I ineffective at that time. I was an emotional wreck. I say for 5 years, my daughter tells me, Mom, don't say that. But it was. Distrust. Oh, after that, I distrusted. But I put that inside and I faked it with everybody that I trusted everybody. A terrible parent. I could not keep my family together. I started allowing these letters to become the lies that I thought was my new identity. I was identifying with all of these shameful letters that I felt I was walking around and people could see, but the more I felt people could see, the more I tried hiding them. 5 years later, I remarried. Had no idea what I had gotten into. I lived 14 years in an abusive relationship. Thought I would never go through this in my life because I thought I knew all of the red flags. I asked my daughter, I said, when was the first red flag? She said, Mom, when I told you this is a red flag. Good thing that we can laugh about it. I made excuses. I tried hiding it. Couldn't from my family and friends. It was time to start unpacking the attic. What I found there was childhood abuses, 4th generation, Seventh-day Adventists, and I brought along with that so many hang-ups that I had to start unpacking that, but it was hard to do in front of my parents because this is how I was brought up. So to move away from some of these hang-ups that I had was painful for them to watch. Lies, the shame I placed in myself was crippling at times. Lies, feeling I no longer belonged because I was ineffective. Lies, I couldn't trust God to take care of my loved ones. He heard us. That was what I had so deep inside. Oh man, was this so rooted deep into my mind that it totally affected my relationship with him. I kept it hidden, didn't want to admit it, as I was doing the right things. I was out trying to minister, so I thought it was going to make everything okay. Lies, he almost took my baby 2 times. Lies. My baby boy severely burned his chest. All of his skin came off. And I was like, how come God hasn't protected my second baby? Those were all lies. About 6 years ago, I wanted a love relationship with God. I was impressed to only search out the Bible with anything that told me about the love that he had for me. Anything in there about love, I put my name on it, and I was marking all through my Bible for the first time. And I wanted to see that he had written that there for me. I read in my Bible to not trust my feelings. Ooh, was that a big lesson? Because man, did I have a lot of feelings. It was beautiful, and it's an inexhaustible journey. I'm experiencing blessings galore. And when I'm smiling, I'm at this point am not hiding anything.
Amen.
Another blessing he poured over me as I went to bed one night. Oh, I love this one. And I was asking God to place a new song in my heart every morning when I got up. He heard the deep pain and longing of this request as I was in the middle of the yuck in my life. But God was so close to me. That very night I awoke. I was singing a beautiful song. This makes me want to cry. It was in my sleep. I remember waking up, and I was in the middle of the song, and I started laughing. It tickled me so much that God did not wait until morning to place this song in my heart. It was in the middle of the night. Woke up in the morning, he had put a new song there, and I'm like, oh my God, heard my deep, painful groanings of my heart. It is written that he, and I love this, that he pours blessings over us by day, and by night he sings over us. That is a promise that I hang on to. It's been over 2 years, and I experience it every morning, and still to this day, sometimes in the night, I wake up singing.
Amen. Amen.
My mom was visiting one day. She said, Cindy, who are you talking to? And I said, Mom, I'm talking to God. You just interrupted us.
It's all right.
I started journaling all the blessings and truths because I had to replace all of the lies that either I had told myself or someone else had told me. God is still alive and well, and I cling to him.
Amen.
My fantastic 4 children, they're in their 30s and 40s, along with 4 precious grandchildren. I gained strength and encouragement from my A team of 8. A for, of course, amazing. Anybody that knows my kids, I have amazing kids, not because of me, but because of God.
Amen.
My first husband and his wife are considered wonderful friends. Now, if that isn't God's restorative power, they actually helped me move out of my abusive relationship. When I tell people that, they go, what? But that's God at work.
Amen.
Because I gained faith, hope, and love with my God, I had the strength to leave this abusive relationship. And I gained my strength from God, and I gained a voice, and my circumstances changed. That is truth. My Father showers me with blessings and sings over me as I sleep, and does not want me mistreated. That is truth now. I was and am surrounded by my spiritual girl angels, handpicked by God.
Amen.
These girls that I have, we have a group texting. When one of us has a joy or a sorrow, we just text it to each other, and there must be 20 of us on there. And I start getting, they will say a prayer right on my text, and they all lift each other up. That is truth that God has given me as a gift. I have neighbors who have become my family. 2 days after I was leaving and I started moving into my new home, the house next door burned down, and it took all the siding off from my house. These neighbors came across the street, stood on the front lawn with me, wrapped their arms around me, and they had prayer over me. They prayed over my house, that I would be safe there, and they prayed that I would never be fearful. I have gone to bed every single night not being afraid. I've never had a fearful moment, and I've been there over a year. That's God's restorative power. I've had a lot of strange things happen in my house where people have been coming and going, either when I'm not home or even while I'm sleeping. And I've had people that said, oh, you need to do something. I go to bed every night and I pray, and I tell them, God is so much bigger than whoever is coming into my home.
Amen. Amen.
Lost my place, sorry. My list is overflowing though. On the days when the pain seems far too intense, which I still have, they come in waves, and I cannot find the words to speak, I know the fullest, deepest assurance that these groans within me are translated to my Heavenly Father. He is wrapping me in a deep, deep embrace. This is another truth that I hang on to. Back in the early 80s when we were at Southern College, we almost lost our baby girl at 8 months old. I had the first 30 minutes, so I went to bed because I had a group of strangers that decided to do an all-night prayer vigil. They didn't even know us, and they heard about what was happening to us, and they decided to take 30 minutes all through the night, and they set it up. And they said, Cindy, you go in, and you take the first 30 minutes. So I went in, I sat on the side of my bed, I opened my Bible, and I was in so much pain. There's such a huge story behind this that the devil was fighting, and it was such a spiritual fight about losing our daughter. So I told God, I said, I'm exhausted. I have no idea what to look for as I open my Bible tonight. Would you have something just jump out for me? As I opened my Bible, it fell to Psalms 37:4. Trust in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of my heart. He knew my desire. I needed my baby girl. I felt as if it was fresh ink penned that very moment from my father to his daughter. I am his daughter. I had a peace that passed any understanding that I had ever experienced. I actually felt a physical, warm presence that wrapped around me. And as I sat there just soaking it in, my husband came in to check on me, and he looked at me and he said I had such a serene look on my face. He thought I had lost it and I had checked out. As I sat there and told him of the experience that God had just done for me, I am still going to share this until the day I die. I have a friend, I'm not sure what happened here, but I might have put the wrong ones in. God says He will help us replace lies with partial truths and absolute truths as He refreshes our mind with promises of His constant love, His heavenly light shines powerful into our hearts. That is a truth to hang on to. He provides splashes of pleasure even in the darkest of times. He understands us perfectly. His compassion for us is overwhelming. As we open ourselves to His healing presence, He will fill us with peace that transcends all understanding. So stop trying to figure out everything. Instead, lean on Him, letting your head rest on His chest. Rest, trust, be still. His healing work is going on this very minute. He promises that His unfailing love for us will not be shaken. He will never leave us. That is the truth. My soul clings to you and my right hand upholds me. That is the truth. My failures become a source of blessings, humbling me and giving me empathy for others in my weakness. That's the truth. He is able to bring beauty out of the morass of my mistakes. Truth. I love that word. It's swamp, bog, marsh, mire, quag. Have you ever been stuck in the quicksand of life? He will bring you through and give you peace and rest. I have a friend that recently shared this. This girl has been through so much, and she has turned it into a ministry, and she ministers to women in the New York conference, and oh my goodness, to sit and talk with her. So she has given me permission to share this with you. So often, especially in Christian circles, difficult conversations end with the uncomfortable party saying, well, you need to forgive and forget. And many assume if you talk about it, you are living in the past. Spiritually, these concepts are used as measuring sticks of faith and trust. So we pack up these emotions and these memories, wrapped up in shame and guilt, and cram the box as far in our minds as possible. Thing is, they don't go away. Oh, how I'm living testimony of that. We must be willing to let our head, our intellect, heart, emotions, and soul spirituality reach a level of congruent peace about the event we have processed, and we are able to walk forward. Do we forget what we've experienced? Many times, but big trauma and loss is difficult to erase, and rightfully so, as it is a teaching tool. Watch out for that kind of behavior. The person is using you. Only happens because you remember lessons taught to you by previous experiences. To say remembering doesn't indicate lack of closure or being unforgiving. Happy stuff we typically process through quickly, while sad, traumatic, hurtful things take longer. I have a dear friend, Eddie, that I was sharing about my failed marriages. And he said, oh no, sister, do not call them failed marriages. These are lessons. So thank you, Eddie. I now call them my 2 lessons. I am fully known and yet loved by God. No one can take this from us. Truth. Life is so much richer. No need for despair. This is a truth. This is my happy suitcase. As you can see, I am taking all of the promises of His love for me and how He lifts me up continually, and I write them on hearts. And I am so blessed.
Amen. Amen.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on unto your own understanding. My understanding was not helping anyone. So I now I am loved. I'm not scarlet letters anymore. I am oh so loved.
Amen.
Abba, He's my Abba, the Father, the only Father. Cherished, oh man, I know I am so cherished. I go to these constantly. The moment I feel that I'm being crushed, I go to these promises to hold me up.
Amen.
Comforted. Oh man, am I comforted.
Come on, sister.
I have spent so much time by myself now in my home. I went a week without seeing anybody, so I kept sitting out on my porch watching people drive by because I needed to see people because I love people. But I feel that God has set me there and He wants me to rest,
Amen.
to be quiet and to trust and to go back and keep looking at these. And when I'm among people, I love talking about God, but sometimes I get too much into the people and I need my quiet time with
That's
God.
right. That's right.
He's my deliverer. Oh man, has He delivered me.
Come on, sister.
He's my protector. As I said, whoever is in my house, the police told me I needed to buy a gun. I'm like, oh no, I'll end up getting hurt, but I want God to be my protector. Nurturer? Oh man, does He nurture.
That's right.
He is my husband.
Amen.
This is so strange for me because for years I've been going to women's ministry and I would hear women say, oh, God is my husband. And I'm like, that is just something I cannot grasp, nor do I want to. It just sounds wrong. So, and God has put me in this place and I am doing man things, working around my house. I sided the first story of my house. It took me all summer long, but I did it. But God was there with me the whole time. I talked to Him. I'm going, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. And next thing I know, He and I figured it out. The job got done.
Amen.
So then God decided to show me in the Bible that He is my husband. It's like, okay, I cherish that now. It's not what I had on my shoulders. He sings over me. Oh man, I still hang on to this one.
Hallelujah.
Accepted. Oh, I am so accepted by Him. It does not matter how my life has been. He accepts me, and I know that He has a work He's doing in me. Trustworthy. This was big for me. Never thought that I would distrust people because I love people. But God is trustworthy.
Amen.
In this book, Boundaries, something I knew nothing of. If anybody asked anything of me, I would go, oh yeah, yeah. I'm learning that it's okay to say no.
That's right.
We have seen the mercy and the graciousness of God, and we are called to share this good news of Christ with others. By His grace, we refuse to grow disheartened. So don't give up. 2 Corinthians 1:23. Probably our best news is that our story is not over. He's got so much to pour over us. So hang on to this.